And it was a thumping, convincing win for Arsenal against Manchester City. Did you see that coming at half-time, Thierry?
No, not half-time, I'll be honest, because I felt there was like a bit of a drop after the goal that we scored.
Do you think that was a deliberate drop? Do you think that was very much a concerted plan to get in front?
No, I don't think so. I've seen that so many times this year at the Emirates where we go ahead early and then we kind of passive with it. And I do believe, and I said it so many times, when we are on the front foot and we go and put pressure and we play higher, and obviously here at the Emirates with us. But we gave Man City the opportunity, as you mentioned, to be in and around the box, put crosses in, and then Alan did what Alan does. And then once we again had to score a goal, we went back up, putting pressure. Yes, I know Phil Foden missed the pass, but we were there. We were higher to go and put pressure, and then the rest is history. We'll know about it. So I don't know why, even after the 1-0, you don't carry on playing the same way and being way higher.
But you just think what difference a 5-1 makes as opposed to a 2-1 to a team. Tell us.
Yeah, I just think confidence, isn't it? I think when we thought about this game today, could they do it in a big moment? And I think today they took their moments really well, Arsenal. Obviously, City wasn't great, but yeah, you've got to give credit to Arsenal.
Well, here is another of their successful team today, Declan Rice, who joins us live from the tunnel area downstairs. Congratulations to you, Declan. Not sure if you heard the guys there just talking about how emphatic it was in the end and how important it was to make such a statement. Did you feel that?
Yeah, for sure. I think the scoreline in the end, 5-1, is an unbelievable score. I think from the moment we stepped out on that pitch today, we had that fire in our belly. We really wanted to win the game, obviously, from what happened at the Etihad at the start of the season. We really wanted to go out there and amend that, and I think we did. But up until they scored the goal, I thought it was an even game, to be honest. I thought they still posed a really good threat. They had a lot of the ball. We had to sit deep at times. And Man City, look, we won 5-1, but they're still a top side and they can still punish teams. And when it went 1-1, you maybe think that the momentum might shift. But, you know, in the end, then we kept pushing and we won the ball off another high press, got the goal of Thomas. And then from that moment, we kept to push on. And in the end, to win 5-1 was top. But I thought it was a really tough game. Well, I felt that out there anyway.
Just regarding the feeling amongst your group going into the game, Declan, how much did you talk about the first game and the bad blood that was obviously there between the two teams?
Yeah, look, I think this is a thing that's been building up over a certain amount of time. Obviously, they nicked the title off Arsenal the year. Obviously, I wasn't here, and then last year they beat us to the title. So it's been hard to accept that. And then obviously with the Etihad at the start of the season and everything that went on there, you do kind of have that, like I said, that fire in your stomach to want to come out here today at your home stadium and try amend that. And you know, in the end we did, and we're so happy. The boys are buzzing in there, but there's still such a long way to go. Obviously, we've beat them today. We now go on to Wednesday, which is massive, and we've got to keep pushing because we're still a couple of points off the top, and that's where we want to be. So yeah, we've got to keep going.
Declan, you were man of the match today, and a couple of assists, a pre-assist as well, I think, on the first goal, and that's something that you've been questioned for since you've come to Arsenal. So how pleased were you with how it went for you personally today?
Yeah, so happy. Obviously helpful on the first one. I think Kai, I won the tackle on the second one. He could have scored, and then to obviously get the two in the second half, especially the last one. Don't think a lot of people think I've got that in my locker, but I see that 5 seconds before and knew I was going to play that pass out to Ethan before Gabby even sent me the ball. So to get 2 assists was really, really big. I need to keep adding assists and goals to my game, especially if I'm going to keep playing the number 8 position. I obviously get spoken about a lot, but it's something I'm putting the demands on myself much more. So as long as I can keep helping the team, I'm feeling way better in myself than I did at the start of the season. So just got to keep going and helping this club, you know, try and achieve silverware, which is why I'm here and why everyone else is here.
Declan, this is Thierry.
Hello.
Well done for the win. I wanted to ask you something. We were talking to obviously Martin Odegaard before and Kai Havertz, and people were praising on how they were pressing, obviously. But how is it to play right behind them, and also with the work that the wingers are doing on the side for you? I'm sure it's easier to be able to concentrate on staying in the middle and not going too wide, because you know the pressing is on point on the side.
You're spot on. I think, honestly, the manager gives us absolutely everything tactically, right down to the last thing you could even imagine. Like, we're the only ones that have to go out there and do that. You know, the press is all set up from him, and how we play and how we press and everything. So for me, I know my role. I knew who I had to mark. I knew how I could press and win the ball back today. And like you said, I think Martin and Kai, they go under the radar, especially Martin, just because people think he's a luxury player and, you know, he's there to get on the ball and play. His pressing and the way he gets after the ball and sets the team off is outstanding, and especially Kai as well. I'm so happy for him. There's obviously so much talk around him, but what he offers us as a team is unbelievable. And, you know, these guys are top, and, you know, we're all top, but we have to keep going. You know, we need to keep pushing, and let's see where the season can go. But today was a really good day, and it's been one of the best days since I've been at Arsenal. So, yeah, let's keep pushing.
Thank you.
Declan, you were involved in the title race last season, your first experience of that. You just come short with Manchester City. Is there anything you may be going about differently in terms of maybe, with it being Liverpool this season, you know, look at each other's results? Is there something that you've learned from last year's experience that you can use to your benefit this season?
Well, do you know what? Liverpool are still quite far in front, especially with the game in hand, and with them winning obviously yesterday. You know that, well, we know going into the game that we have to win these games. It's more disappointing, Cara, that it's the games like the Villas where we're 2-0 up and we drop them type of points. The Brightons away where we're winning, where we could be up there closer to Liverpool. But look, like the manager says every time, you know, we'll be there, we'll keep pushing, and we do need other teams to help us. But Liverpool, credit to them, you know, they've been really, really good so far. They've got top players, and it's down to us to hunt them. They've got themselves in this position. So look, there's respect to them, but we obviously know the goal that we want, and then that's to hunt them down and obviously to win the Premier League. That's what we want to do. Still a long way to go. Still so many games to play, but we need to stay positive and keep taking each game as it comes, and I'm sure we'll be fine.
I love your message, Declan. You want to hunt them down. I tell you what, that performance, that result has got Jamie twitchy anyway in here. So. That's the good news. That's the good news. But listen, you were Gary Neville's player of the match. That was backed by everybody in this studio as well, I have to say, Declan. And there is the trophy. Congratulations on a great performance.
Have a good day.
Well done.
Thank you. See you later.
Declan Rice.
You're a bit sheepish now, aren't you?
It wasn't that game, it was the Tottenham game.
Well, actually, Jamie, you made the point before the game in saying that he was, for you, the key man. If he turned up, that you didn't feel that City's midfield could live with him.
Listen, that's not anything special to say. I think we've seen that, you know, in the last few weeks, whoever City have came up against. But I almost feel it sometimes that I'm almost one of Declan Rice's biggest supporters, because I do find myself scratching my head when I see people criticise him and you sort of asking for more goals and assists. Now, I know the game in the last sort of 10, 15 years, especially on the show that we do, tomorrow night, Monday Night Football, we look at numbers and analyse things. And I think when you played alongside Patrick Vieira and Emmanuel Petit were behind you in midfield, they were two of the greatest midfield players in the world at that time, and two of the greatest midfield players we've ever seen in the Premier League. I don't remember anyone talking about how many goals or assists they got. Now, they chip in, they didn't get a lot, probably 5 or 6 a season. For me, Declan Rice is one of those type of all-round midfield players, a little bit like Roy Keane, a little bit. And he said he's playing in the number 8 position, so he's playing a little bit higher. But for me, he's almost like a throwback to a midfield player who used to play in a 4-4-2 system. He could do a bit of everything. Now, for me, I think he's a wonderful player. I think his passing range is vastly underrated. You see that with the pass he put out there, but I see him in terms of build-up and getting on the ball, his power, everything about him, his pressing early on. He's just, for me, he's an absolute, a wonderful midfield player. An outstanding performance, player of the match, a couple of assists and a pre-assist as well. That you Roberto Martinez. And you could obviously sense that Declan's really keen to build on his numbers. The numbers very much went against Manchester City today, a 5-1 defeat. Here's John Stones now giving his reaction to Patrick Davison.
Well, John, you're obviously a proud team and you've been great champions. So how much does it hurt to lose like that here?
Yeah, it's difficult. I think all of us don't take losing well. It's hard for me to put into words, actually, straight after a game like that. Pride's hurt. Sorry to the fans that travel. To come and watch that and how we played in the last 30 minutes was not acceptable. As a collective, you know, it's not us. It's not nice to be involved in that when you know, it's not your team or yourself within those situations. And I give credit to Arsenal. This is not an easy place to come to, and they've played really well against us. I thought 65 minutes we were we played some great football at times. We're in the game, you know. It was a swinging point, I suppose, and yeah, it swung the wrong way for us, and I'm angry, upset, personally and collectively of how the game finished for many reasons.
So what happens in that last half an hour? Because at that point, you're probably favourites to win it. When it goes 1-1, probably most people would say City the most likely winners. Why the collapse?
I don't know. That's the magic question. To get us back after half-time is a great feeling, a good situation to be in, and then to concede after that from deflection, I think it was off me, or a bit of luck, or however you want to look.
Is that pure luck, that deflection?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult when there's an overload at the back and you've got to make a split second decision to come out, and you know, they've got the luck on that one, and it's gone in. I could have maybe stayed more square or whatever it might have been. I'll have to watch it back, but yeah, we can't let those situations get on top of us, and you know, they score another goal, we can go and score one back, and it seemed to be the opposite. We stopped doing the things that we were meant to, and yeah, difficult for me to put into words.
You said you weren't happy with the end part of the match for many reasons. Are you talking about stuff going on between the two teams? That's obviously been was an issue in September. Or are you just talking about City here and mistakes you've made?
Yeah, no, just how it finished. Just obviously to concede the goals that we did, to allow them to have so much of the ball towards the end is frustrating when we're a team that is so dominant in our own play, with keeping the ball, moving it, controlling the tempo of the game. You know, I've been on both sides of it, and today was the wrong side to be on for all of us in the dressing room. It's a emotional place in many ways, and yeah, we want to come back from this, bounce back quickly, not erase it, because I believe these things make you stronger and make you learn and realise what we've done over the seasons and what we're capable of doing. But for our fans, for everyone that follows us and has gone through the good and bad times, and today is one of the bad times, we need to make it right again.
Lastly, John, is the truth that we've seen today and over the last few months that just you're a team in transition, an era's coming to an end for a great Premier League team?
I wouldn't say it's coming to an end. I think it's a lot of different things that I still haven't figured out. Why we're not picking up the results that we have done in previous seasons. Why it's not clicked. The passion's there, the heart's there in training. Everyone's got the right intention, which is one of the most important things. And you know, we haven't got to where we are without difficult times, and that's through everyone's career to get us to where we are right now, and we all need to stick together. I think that's a key point, that we don't start pointing fingers, and we look at ourselves first and foremost within that dressing room, and come together as a team and try and make this right.
Thank you for coming out, John.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, not an easy interview to do that after a 5-1 result at Arsenal. How would you sum up the City team that we saw in the last 30 minutes or so of that game?
It's exactly the same team that I saw against Feyenoord, same team that I saw against Brentford at the end, the same team that I saw, you know, I mean, I can name...
And what is that?
What is that is when they pass an hour, I will go back to what you said, the intensity of the game, you need to be able to run. And I've played on the Pep. To be able to stay there for 90 minutes, putting pressure, deal with the transition, it's not easy. And can we, in bracket, give them a pass? That's the first year that they cannot do it. You know, I think that's the first year also we can challenge Pep in terms of the player that he brought, comparing to the players that he had. He had Alvarez, he had Mahrez, he had Cole Palmer. He decided to go to other guys that it didn't work. Do I feel sorry? You were asking the question to you, Micah, before. Do I feel sorry about what's happening to Man City and Pep? Yeah, I do. In one thing, it's not easy to deal with what Pep has to deal with outside of football. I went through that when I went to Barcelona. It's not easy to deal with stuff like that when you're not well mentally. You can see that he's not his usual self. Having said that, if we go back on the field at new football...
You're talking about his personal life?
Yeah, personal life. I had to deal with it when I went to Barcelona. I can tell you it's not easy. No one will like to deal with that while you have to perform all the time. So I think we can understand. Now, if you go back on the field, it's not good enough. It is not good enough. I don't think that they can cope whenever a team can deal with playing them all the way to 90 minutes and challenge them and looking them in their eyes all the way. They cannot deal with it at the minute.
Michael, I came here today trying to build a case for Manchester City. I said they were top scorers in Europe, just behind Barcelona and Real Madrid in 2025. Their Premier League form was improving again. They made some signings. But actually, have we seen today this is the end of an era for this?
No, I wouldn't say end of an era, maybe coming to an end. I just think we have to be realistic about it. I think Jamie made a good point about it months ago now, saying they might struggle for top four, sort of laughed it off a little bit. And he was talking about the energy and the intensity. It's not there. But the thing that I'm looking at more with Man City is on the ball. Normally they starve the opposition of the ball. They did okay in the first half. In the second half, they was giving away easy passes, individual mistakes. Foden, he's so good on the ball, but just taking that risk. Akanji, whether he's playing out, whether it was Haaland. We didn't see Haaland again today, apart from his goal. I want him to be more aggressive. I want him to make more runs. I want him to be, giving his team an option as well. So there's so many different things that are going on with Man City at this moment in time. And it is sad to see because, I don't expect him to win the league every year, but the fall-off has been so dramatic. It's sort of sad to see what's going on, but they'll bounce back.
But they still could have a say in this title race. Still got to play Liverpool. We'll come to that in a few minutes' time. Plus, we've got
5 goals, 2 of them from teenagers. The team you hold up as the benchmark, soundly beaten. I mean, the days come much better than this.
Yeah, it's a great day for us, obviously, especially with the necessity that we had to win the game to sustain the pressure up there. And the manner that we've done it, obviously, really, really pleased. You need everything in these games. There are moments that we were very dominant, moments that we had to suffer and be deep, moments that we need a bit of luck, and we had it. But overall, obviously, a very happy day.
Was the way you pressed them, the way you squeezed them, certainly for the first 2 goals, absolutely key to your success today?
Yeah, there are moments in the game that you can have those ones, and sometimes you are very willing to press them, and they are that good that it's very difficult. And they hold you very, very deep. And on those moments, you have to suffer. And as I said, sometimes be a bit lucky. But overall, I think we scored some beautiful goals in different manners, and the team showed a really high competitive level.
You spoke before the match about micro games or micro decisions, little details that might decide it. What were those details that decided today?
It's a really thin line. You go on high press and you win it, great. You hold the ball after winning it, great. If not, you defend your box, And it's a team that demands you everything because they are so good. And we'll have those margins. Today, they went our way.
So the few seconds it was 1-1, quite anxious at that point?
Yes, obviously, because obviously that gives them momentum. And we had on that period as well, we were deep for 4, 5, 6 minutes in a row. We didn't defend the ball in the box that well, and then they have this quality. Obviously, when you allow Haaland in the duel 1-on-1 with the biggest space in the box, he's capable of doing that.
I mentioned your teenagers, particularly Miles Lewis-Skelly today. How do you feel for him, especially after what he went through last weekend?
Yeah, you need big individual performances against this team to beat them in the manner that we've done, and Miles was certainly one of them. The maturity that he showed, the competitiveness as well. On top of that, he scores a goal, probably is not in the books. Great, and Ethan comes in again and he plays with that personality again, and he's got a beautiful goal.
With Miles, just tell us a bit about his journey. I've heard you talk about it a little bit in your press conference. You saw him and he was a midfielder. How have you got him ready for this team, and how has he got himself ready for this team?
It's him. He's been pushing us since he's been with us. We really like the character, the personality. He's got so much courage. He's very well prepared. He's very intelligent, and he's got qualities that fit in the way we want to play. And then he earned the right to get respected by the teammates. Then he got some minutes, he got them, and he's asking for more. And when the competition is high, he deserves to play.
What did you make of the spirit today's game was played in? There was maybe a few moments where it looked like it might spill over, but I guess you'd expect a bit of that between two big rivals at the top of the Premier League. And I think you've just walked towards your interview, you and Pep together, so all seems well.
You have to. I mean, you're going to suffer in periods of the game, you know that. And we did it when we had to do it, again, with a bit of luck in the right moments. And then we have the opportunity to win the game and be ruthless. Today we were.
OK, so it's been a Sunday to celebrate for Arsenal fans. Might it be a Monday to celebrate for Arsenal fans as well with what you do in the transfer market? How likely is something, Mikel?
I don't know. I've just been focused the last 24 hours on what we had to do to try to beat Man City. Now we've done it. Okay, we will discuss the situation as we always do, and then Newcastle, that's the important thing.
But, I mean, you've talked to, I know guys like me have asked you again and again, how necessary is it that you get something in? But then I guess you don't want to leave yourself in a situation in the summer where you've eaten into your budget and PSR constraints and stuff like that.
No, it's about the intentions, and the intention, I think we've been very clear from every angle what we want to do, and the other one is the reality and what you are able to do.
So it's possible?
It's always possible.
Always possible. Arsenal fans hope so. Right, this is the moment where Michael, I look up to another giant, none bigger than the Arsenal legend and former captain Tony Adams. Big smile on your face as well,
big
Tony.
Smile, mate. Big
I mean,
smile.
how good
day.
was that?
Fantastic. Got a couple of leg ups. Man City made some horrific errors early on, and we took advantage of it and then buried them.
That's the crucial thing. They haven't been taking
Absolutely.
chances in recent weeks. They did today.
Phenomenal. Great. It's great to see the kids coming on and playing so well. And Miles, he's invented this new position, hasn't he, Miles? It's like, we used to have inside forwards. We've got inside defenders now. Got like inside left back, you know. Can you imagine Nigel or Dicko? You're like, get out of there. It's
brilliant.
Phenomenal. What a kid. What a prospect, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. You were eulogising about him, weren't you, right in front of us?
Yeah, well, we've seen, obviously, we've got so many great players here, established players, but a couple of youngsters, Tony, at 17 and 18. I mean, the future looks bright as well, and I'm told that the academy is quite strong in behind it. So
yeah, we've had Saka in recent years come through as well. You've got to get, you know, when you've got Man City and the model that they've got with the structure of multi-clubs and all these players coming into the 350 million wage bill, you have to be creative. You have to work on your youth team and bring kids through or be sensible in the transfer market. Who'd have thought Havertz had been playing like he is, to be honest with you? He's a complete gamble for us. And he's not... Wrighty, he's a great finisher, no?
The movement in that tone is fantastic, but because it's not natural to him like it would be to me and Mike, simply because we're constantly training in that way. He wasn't doing that. He's come here and he's turned into a forward, so he's doing all that stuff on the fly. So, like, see, with the first chance, you think to yourself, he looked like he weren't ready for that, whereas we'd probably be ready for that. Know exactly again. The second one, when he's running onto it, he can cut inside and finish it with a plum. It's because he's got that ability. But
you would have put greatest Michael as well.
Club and country here.
But when you're so dynamic in that position, you're not going to get someone that floats out and creates space for other people as well. Goals are coming from all over.
Yeah.
Back in your day, you could score 30 goals and no one else used to score. You know what I mean? But all of a sudden, because he's creating space, the inside guys coming off the line, playing him, feeding with him, you get goals from other areas.
And that's what we've done. We've done that last season. We had 4 or 5 of our players had 10 goals each. And that's what I think was the model. But then obviously once you do get into certain games, you know what it's like as well when it's going against you, and then you get that striker who can nick the goal, Aguero, Owen, you know, that kind of stuff, foul. You were talking about someone when it's not going for the team, and you need someone to get half a chance and take it. I think in some instances that's what Arsenal need to then settle down and play like they can play like that.
To take us to the next level.
Absolutely.
To actually win the league.
That's what we want.
Like
That's what I'm thinking.
Completely agree with you.
That's what I'm thinking, Skip.
What about this season, though? I mean, what if they don't get one in the next 24 hours, which is highly unlikely at this stage of the season?
I think they're fall short of again. Both squads there today have been hit by injuries, and we just didn't have enough strength in depth. Last couple of seasons when Saliba got injured, we didn't have the quality that went in and substituted him, unfortunately, and we fell away and come second again. And if you're not careful, Liverpool, with Mo Salah in particular, he had a rest during the summer. These guys have been playing for 2 years, you know, World Cups, European Championships, top of their games, and they've just, you know, we've really, you know, we've won 5-1 without Saka, and Saka's where we are, you know, today because of that kid, you know, he's been phenomenal for us. So it's really difficult. to actually keep going and keep going and keep going. You're going to run out of steam. You're going to get injuries. That's why the best squad wins the league. And at the moment, Liverpool are just getting too many wins for me. They're too strong. They're too balanced. And we're going to have to win every single game, to be honest with you, to go above them. And I don't think we can do that.
Yeah, the thing is, you have to hope. And like today's result, and Liverpool will look and I say, it's a good result for you. 5-1 City. Of course, you're going to look at that and think to yourself, that's pretty impressive. But again, Liverpool are very much in command of their own destiny right now. They've got players who are experienced at this level of the season. They know how to finish off a season like this, and they've got very good young players who coming through into it as well. So you just feel like it's going to take a calamitous mistake from Liverpool for it to happen. But at the same time, Arsenal just have to keep doing that. Just keep beating teams. And if it does happen, then they've got to be ready to take the chance.
And if you're in that dressing room now, to do that in that manner would be an injection of confidence and belief at this stage, Tony?
To be fair, they'll probably play it down. It's just 3 points. Back in my day, it was 3 points, move on. It's all about preparation and recovery today, and they'll be thinking about the next game. And everyone they were singing it in the crowd. Everyone, can we play you every week? You know what I mean? Man City are perfect to play at the moment. Yeah, how the champions have fallen, but they will recover. By the way, and we need to go and beat. You need to beat Liverpool this season because Man City have come a game. They're too good not to. They've got too many quality players, and they'll go again in the transfer market, and he'll get things right. But I just think they made so many. I was up with George Graham before the game, and we were both going, "My God, this is heart attack football." It's so open. It's great for the public. They love the 5-1. I'm sitting up there going, "Oh, Saliba, come on, clean sheet." What's he doing? Getting inside anyway. What did I answer your question?
City, has Tony got a point? Are they giving too many teams chances at the moment?
Yeah, they're poor at the moment. They're fragile. They haven't been fragile for so long. They've been involved in games where they've been able to dictate and dominate, and when they've got in the lead or when they've had that little blip, they've conceded a goal, not a problem. They've got one back and then gone on to win. Arsenal, you could tell today Arsenal had no fear today, and I said it before. I've been to a few Manchester City games, and teams don't fear them. They respect them, of course they do. They know what they're capable of, but they don't see, for example, that goal coming back in today, and Arsenal didn't roll their eyes. The stadium didn't feel it. They didn't go, "Oh no, here we go, we've lost our chance." To immediately score again and then to want to score more, the slight fear factor that City have built up and deservedly built up through the years has slightly gone. But I agree with Tony. They'll go back to the drawing board. They're too good. They're too well invested, and this is a great opportunity for Arsenal to topple City. But they've got to chase Liverpool now, who have also had the same mentality.
How about our goalie?
Honestly,
two crucial
so important. You know what a title-winning goalkeeper does. You know what David Seaman did behind you. He didn't necessarily have much to do, but every now and again you looked at him, you gave me a nod, and you said, "Nice one, Dave. Away we go. We'll go and win the game for you now." And he was excellent today, and he's really growing because he was a Brentford goalkeeper. Now he's a proper Arsenal title contending goalkeeper.
Fascinating to see what happens with Manchester City in the coming weeks, because as the guys have just mentioned, once a team gets a sniff that there's a vulnerability there, and now people can say, Manchester City, they're playing out from the back again, we can go and win the ball. Everybody will have watched that game today, and even the lesser teams in the Premier League will think, right, and now almost Manchester City are going to have to play through the pain barrier, play through a hardship, and almost put manners on other teams again and pop it round and do what they used to do. But they might have to go through a bit of pain in the meantime, because a lot of people have lost a bit of respect for them in many ways, in terms of they know that they can get at them now.
We'll talk about Manchester City and hear from Pep Guardiola shortly, but before we let Tony go, I just want to show you the incident with Gabriel and Haaland and get your reaction to this after Arsenal had taken the lead. Watch Gabriel here when the ball hits the back of the net with Erling Haaland, Tony, and you can take it away. We've heard Wrighty.
Okay, would you have done? To be honest with you, I'd rather Gabriel lift the trophy like that and then go phone him up and go, "Oh, by the way, we've just won the league." That'd be better. But that's on its way.
No, it's
on its way.
Did you see a little bit of footage after? That's literally what Erling Haaland just did. He just showed him the champion's badge.
Exactly, yeah.
But I love it. You must have loved all that. You must have loved two. It's not like there was no bullying going on. The two colossal players having it.
Fantastic, and likewise I was really disappointed with Saliba, the way that he marked it. It was ball and play, got too tight with the guy, got in front of him. He'd be kicking himself in there, and we've got to learn from that. But Gabriel, I loved that. That was my game.
That was brilliant. It was great to see.
You were almost into your Spanish dance then.
I'm getting all excited. Well played, son. Come on.
You're right to be excited after a 5-1 against Manchester City. Tone, great to see you. Thank you very much, Tony Adams. When we come back on And let's take our way back to 1-0 and the way it came about. Joe hinted at this before the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about, the press early on. I think John Stones possibly could have had a couple of different options here to pass elsewhere. He played into a risky, but don't get me wrong, Akanji's first touch was poor, he should have taken it away. But these are the options. If he does it quickly, I think these are the options he's got. As it happens, Arsenal push him into an area that they want. Declan Rice picks up the loose ball after a poor touch from Akanji, and then Havertz plays it across, and the guy that's just joined us taps it, or he's just walked past us, I should say. We're
going to talk to him shortly,
yeah. And
that's a beautiful pass from Declan there.
It was. Yeah. Early, straightforward.
But it's because they're all on the front foot, they're all thinking forward. No one's worrying about what's behind them. Gabriel sending the message early there to Erling Haaland. That is how Arsenal are feeling today, and they were up for it. I thought it was an incredible start.
What are you buzzing for? No, he's just smiling. I thought he was going to ask me so. He's just smiling.
I'm smiling because of your reaction to Gabriel's reaction.
Well, you know, the thing is that like me and Joe was saying at half time, it's like that's fine in the game because like they've obviously got something. I know that Gabriel would have probably been thinking about Erling Haaland today and last night, and so the same vice versa. They want to play against each other. They want to do really well against each other, and it's turned into this now. There's housery going on, which is part of it.
You don't mind a fair fight.
No, you
bullying,
don't.
I'm not up for bullying. I'm not up for a dominant team taking the mick out of a little team. But that's two big, strong, top players having it in the middle of the football pitch in front of everyone. I love it.
Yeah.
And Haaland had his moment, of course, at 1-1 when we thought, right, we've got a different game and complex on our hands here.
Yeah, it was a great goal. This was. It really was. I mean, Erling Haaland's movement really for the goal, right, he was top class. He moves early. He almost, once he moves and gets in front, and don't get me wrong, he pulls a little bit of the shirt to get in front, but not enough to give a foul. But then once he gets there, you're dead as a defender.
Yeah.
He's too big, too strong. He gets up early. He's got hang time. Savinho plays a lovely ball and follows his pass. He's the person actually that just clips it up. And you don't have to be specific against Haaland.
Just put it in.
Just chip it into the box, kneel it up.
You know what's really frustrating about City is they get themselves in situations like this all the time. He's in there. They don't put it in. They do not put it in.
We could see Pep, couldn't we? He's almost changed what he wants from his play. Before, he'd want them to recycle it. Now he's on the side saying, "Get it in, get it in."
I think when you see Erling Haaland against Saliba or Gabriel in and around the halfway line, you see how much they look in control. Look how in control he was when that ball's come into his area. Yeah. Saliba was the wrong side. He ended up being the wrong side. He made him look silly in that position. They've got to get the ball in there to him. They're not doing it.
If I'm an attacker and Joe's the defender, I'm trying to time it. So as the ball's coming, I'm getting in front of him as I'm jumping and win it. Whereas he just gets in front first and then jumps. Well, you're dead now. I'm in front of you. Just too big and too strong. So that's the huge advantage he's got when he gets in front, jumps early, and then he's just got hang time.
But this is why as well, you know, when the people are talking about, you know, I kept sending people, I kept getting this, how many touches he's had. I'm petrified of Erling Haaland.
That was his 8th touch in the game.
I'm petrified of Erling Haaland at any stage of the game. I remember people saying he hasn't had enough touch. I think he had 11 touches last season, scored 3 goals against Forest. Why are people so obsessed with these touches? And how many touches he had? If they get the ball in the box, he only has 4 he probably scored 4 goals. He could score 4 goals. Look at him. That's the only time he slipped them today because they got the ball in the box. That's what City have to be looking at now.
The problem City had was they were level for just 105 seconds. And we'd often see Phil Foden lose possession in the way he did in the build-up to the goal.
Yeah, look, I can't work it out. It's such a poor pass. The only thing I can think of is the referee and blindsided and Partey's got on the front foot without Phil Foden seeing it. Because he does not make those mistakes. No. There's stray passes, and he's literally, if the referee's not there, there's no way that he'd do that pass as he did.
Yeah.
I sound like I'm making excuses.
No, Joe. The more you say it, the more you see where the referee is there. He can't look. He's thinking, I'll get that. Look at where he's come from.
I'm just looking at the level, and to be fair, Partey gets on the front foot, but
he does.
Fair play to Thomas Partey. He reads it, he gambles, and that's an absolute blow. What was it?
105 seconds.
105 seconds. But like I say, this happens, no problem. The 2-1, the momentum shifts. It was Arsenal's reaction after that I was so impressed with.
Yes, the work rate.
That was 2-1, but we're going to pause and say hello to the Arsenal captain and goal scorer Martin Odegaard. Well, we're eulogising about that game and that performance. What was it like to play, and how satisfying a win is that?
Yeah, massive game. Atmosphere was unbelievable. These are the best games to play, you know, and in the end, a big result, and Yeah, really happy.
How big a result to do that to the champions in the manner that you did?
Yeah, really, really good result. I think I really like especially the way we reacted to the goal we conceded. Straight away we go and we score again, and we didn't stop after that. So yeah, I think the whole game we played with such good intensity, energy, and also on the ball we were brave and we took our chances, and yeah, it was good.
Martin, I like that when it went to 1-1, even when we had the chance, unfortunately we didn't take that chance, but the energized we was. Is that something that he said, we have to keep this up, this pressure, what we're putting on them, keep them under pressure?
Yeah, I think it's one of our biggest strengths, you know, how we play with intensity, the rhythm when we go on the high press, you know, when we lose the ball, everybody sprints back, and yeah, we're so aligned and everyone is doing it together, and yeah, then you see what happens. We win balls and we score goals, and yeah, it was great.
We all know about the established players, yourself and all the great players in Arsenal. But what about the youngsters? Ranieri coming on, Lewis Skelly starting. 2 performances there from a 17 and 18-year-old that just must make you think the future's so bright.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, for the age they have to play the way they do in a big game like this. Miles the whole game, and Ethan again coming on, making an impact. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't have words, to describe what they're doing. It's we're proud of them, and we're happy to have them on board.
Martin, incredible performance today. One thing I want to know is, when you're asked to press by Mikel, especially in a game like this, it didn't look like you were being told to press to just maintain and push people back. Was he giving you the message, try and get on the blind side and turn it over? Because the way that you and Declan did it, especially in the first half, was exceptional.
Yeah, I think when you play Man City, they can do so many things, so you have to really adapt and you have to communicate and coach, so I think we were really well prepared. We had a clear game plan, especially in the high press. We know we're so good and so aggressive, and yeah, you could see that in the first half we won 2 balls where we scored one and should have scored another one, and yeah, I think the whole team played really good in that way as well.
You know what, Martin, when you look at the way it's gone so far up to this point, with the injuries, with certain decisions it's gone against us, how has it been in the camp in respects of continuing to keep going? You're looking at Liverpool, yes, there's 6 points, the game in hand. How are you? What's keeping you going? We've just got to keep going.
I think it's a massive belief, in the team, in the group, what we can do. We know what we're capable of. We've been there now for 2 years fighting, and we know the quality we have. And I said it before the game that we feel like we have another gear to go into, and yeah, I think you could see that today. So yeah, the belief comes from there. We know the quality we have, and the togetherness and the group.
Yes.
He won't stop smiling all night, you know that, Martin. On that belief, though, to do that to the champions in that manner, 5 goals. I mean, we've just been saying it's only the second time Pep Guardiola has ever conceded 5 in his managerial career. So what does that do to the collective confidence in this title race?
Yeah, I think it's a big boost, obviously, to win a game like this. But already before the game, we had a lot of belief and confidence in the team and what we can do. And we've said it many times, we're going to go until the very end, and we're going to keep fighting, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely a good boost for everyone.
And you've kept in there, 6 points off Liverpool now. I mean, you're going to just keep on their tails and keep in this fight?
Yeah, we have to focus on ourselves. We have to do our job every week, every game, and then we'll see what happens.
Nice. Fantastic performance today.
Enjoy
it. Well done. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Pleasure, guys.
Martin
You're the
Ødegaard.
best, Martin. You're the best.
Live for you on Matchday Live on the road here at the Emirates, the Arsenal captain. So we've just showed you that bit of luck for 2-1, but as you say, the hunger was there to then go again and make it 3-1 for Arsenal.
Well, to be honest, it's like obviously Miles Lewis Skelly's come in, and I think him starting over whether it's Zinchenko, Calafiori is saying a lot with Mikel, because of we know that he's capable of playing further up, but he's played left back and he is fantastic when he gets into these kind of positions. You can see the midfielder in him turning. Look at his turn, and he's in. He's straight in. He's ready to go. But I'm just pleased for him, because it's at this stage of the season with this kind of game to bring him in, like you mentioned, a 17-year-old and 18-year-old. And for him to come in and be scoring goals and playing like this, it's fantastic for us, for ALN. This is amazing.
And the fact that he's in there, that's what I'm saying about the message at 2-1. He's playing left back today. He might well be a midfielder, and all of a sudden, he found himself drifting. That was a second phase of attack. He stayed in there. That was the Arsenal message. And that was Martin Ødegaard pushing his team forward, smelling blood, saying stay in there.
And as you say, he's hailing, but he's starting a Premier League game for just the 7th time.
Yeah.
we've mentioned all his academy career, right? He's seen plenty of it. He's a midfield player. He's never played left back till he's come in.
Yeah.
You spoke to him after the North London derby when he was fantastic. I mean, it's some story, and then to go and score as well on your weaker foot.
He looked like a midfielder the way he did that. I loved his first touch, the way he lets it come across his body onto his right foot. Yeah, that just showed all the hallmarks of a midfield player. Taking it across on his right foot, and then that first touch going forward was brilliant. And I think he was also rubbing Erling Haaland's nose in it again.
Well, did you see the celebration? Yeah, well,
they're all at it. They're all at it.
I think the fans had a song for him, but
can't repeat that one, right?
No, but they had a song for Ethan Nwaneri, for Lewis Scully as well. And I turned to you and said, 7 Premier League games, and you're 18, you've got a song ringing around the Emirates.
He's got a couple of songs. I think they were singing something about his number, 49, Lewis Scully, and then obviously, you know, he's one of our own. But you know what's great about it is that he's come in very level-headed. Like you say, we know he's a midfield player. He's probably at some stage in his career he might move more further forward. But for him to come in as a left-back in this stage of Arsenal's career, at this time of the season, to come in and play like he's played, it's just been a bonus, a massive bonus for Arsenal.
Incredible when you look at the subs bench as well, Wrighty. I mean, there was 4 players sat there. Thierry, Calafiori, help me out, Steve.
Zinchenko. Yeah. Three left backs on the bench.
Yeah, there was another that could have played a fourth. And he's 18 and he's already knocked them all out the way, and he's first choice left back in a game like this. Quite incredible. So, fair play. No wonder the performance.
He's great on the ball, Mike. He can look after the ball. And I think when you're playing for Pep, you're playing for people like Mikel, you have to be able to keep the ball in certain areas. You have to be able to turn with it and make progress with the ball, and that's what he's capable of doing.
At the back post, very strong as well. We talk about that position, the full-back position, not being aware of what's over your shoulder. Twice he showed great strength, real intelligence, because he's a strong boy. There's some big boys coming in on the blind side of him. He just used his body really, really well. Super impressive.
What with Haaland in particular, wasn't he? Yeah, did particularly well.
After what happened at this end here to Havertz in the first half that we looked at half-time, how pleased were you that he then got on the score sheet? You could see that out-of-body relief in him personally, couldn't you?
I was delighted for him because the thing is, Steve, is that we've got this guy is doing a job for us. He is not a striker. You know, he's done brilliant for us in the way that he's been able to hold the ball up and be a threat for us with that kind of like that stature, what he can give us up there. But he's not a striker, but he works very hard for us. You can see once we broke here, his confidence is in a different place, Mike, because once he's going through, he's not even looking for anyone else. Good runs, decoy runs.
Run, isn't it?
But then he's so confident. Once he gets in there now, we're 3-1 up, he's coming inside. Obviously, City, I've never City's defending is poor in that respect, letting him come inside and curl it in there. But I'm just pleased that he got that because he does do a lot of work for the team. Sometimes the chances gives him a little bit of a nightmare with some of the fans, but at the same time, you cannot question this guy's commitment to what he's trying to do.
Yeah. He converted a 2v2 into a 2v1 just by a lovely, clever, intelligent overlapping run. Really good. It was a quick break point in the game when you're so in control and Manchester City are having to take a few risks going forward. You can do that. They were then picking City up. But I really like that run. It was really intelligent, isolated his man with the overlap, cut inside onto his favoured left foot, and it was actually, for him, I would say that's a relatively easy finish. You know, it opens up and you basically got a side.
As easy as the one.
No, but the thing is, you know what? It's
probably similar.
Because he's in the middle of the goal like that. It's coming at him. He probably feels like there's people are coming. This one he's much more in control of. But once that's come to him and he's taken the touch, I think he's panicked a bit with that chance. I think that's all what's happened with that one. But with this one, he's in total control of it.
This is a great run.
It's a total control of it. You know, that run outside is brilliant there.
I just think from a Manchester City point of view, I know it's really disappointing. It's so easily turned over. It's worrying, you know. They've been opened up a few times in this Premier League and in the Champions League recently on turnover. They've been poor and they've been open, and Arsenal punished them. But it wasn't necessarily that game today. But that was a big moment for Kai Havertz.
And as I say, his reaction there, when you've had a moment like he did down at the first half, to put one in the net, you can empathise with that.
You can, yeah, because, you know, he's being asked to play a role that's not really his natural game. He's been, 25 or whatever years in this game, and he's not really a number 9, never has been. And then he gets criticism for filling in a role that he's never really played so much. So you do feel sorry for him. I don't think he's got that real killer mentality to be scoring 20, 30 goals, which a lot of these top strikers are scoring nowadays. But that's not his fault. He can play in numerous different roles, and just because he's filling in doesn't really, well, it does. It opens him up to criticism, and it shouldn't really be like that. But no, delighted for him because he does take a little bit of stick, and he does do his best in what is a hard role.
Now, for the first time in the same league game, Arsenal, for the first time since 1986, have had 2 teenagers score in the same match, and that's because Ethan Nwaneri, what a week he's had, right? He came off the bench and did this.
Look at that pass from Declan Rice.
Great pass from Declan. I remember seeing it here. But the thing again with Ethan, even like he had a couple of games on the spin, and he had a little niggle, so you're having to make sure that you manage him as well. But he probably is chomping at the bit to go, and you could tell when he came on, he had pure intentions of. In fact, pure bad intentions. He wanted to come on, take people on. He done some good skills over on that right-hand side, got his opportunity and scored brilliantly. It's for the fans, this is magnificent.
And look, City are dead on their feet now. I know everyone will say, look, we've seen Nwaneri, he likes to get in on his left foot, you can't show him inside. City were done. They were absolutely dead on their feet. Guardiola couldn't get out to him. Savinho couldn't get his feet moving, and he just played on that. He came on with such intensity. Like Wright said, he wanted to come on and make a statement today. And as soon as he tucked inside and realised that they hadn't read it, that looks like his finish. It looks like we're going to see that a few more times.
Yeah, well, he's still 17. That's his 3rd Premier League goal. So before turning 18, only 2 players can better that. Wayne Rooney and
Mikel Arteta.
There we go. I'm on the list. I'm on the list.
You got 5.
Well, you give me a bad stat about my performances here.
We're level now.
I'll let you off.
Right, all smiles.